everybody, welcome back. It's another episode of Cape Rugby TV. We keep taking a look at what's happening in the world of Western Province Club Rugby. Before we get started, of course, big thanks to our partners who are on board with us. Score Energy Drinks, Score behind me on the screen. Win yourself a case of Score a little bit later during the course of the show. Of course, Score Energy Drinks is on board with Cape Rugby TV and Western Province Club Rugby's Sevens tournament. That comes up hopefully a little bit later in the year. Looking forward to that. And of course, CyberSmart, internet service providers on board with Cape Rugby TV. They're also behind me on screen right now. Right, folks, we've got a nice full show for you tonight. We're going to take a look at some of the videos that a lot of the clubs sent in for us. They're, of course, busy with pre-season training. Keep trying to figure out if it's off-season or pre-season. We're also going to be joined in studio by Nafis Francis, head coach of FalseBay Women's Rugby side, and Ernie Abrams from Hands and Hearts, coaching there at the moment. So, looking forward to a nice full show tonight. A little bit later, after our break, we're going to be joined by Renzo Portman and Alistair Tace from CPUT. But right now, gentlemen, welcome. Nafis, nice to have you in studio with us.
Well, thanks for having me.
Not your first time, though, that you've spoken to us on Cape Rugby TV.
Not necessarily in studio, but I've been around.
Ja. En Ernest Abrams, nice om jou hier te hê, meneer. Hoe gaan met jou?
Ja, Tsaipi, dankie vir die geleentheid om hier te kan wees. Het gaan baie goed met my.
It's your first time on the show?
Dis is my eerste keer op hier.
Alright, but you've just taken over at Hands and Hearts now, right?
Ja, ek het oorgevat van die Pieter Links, wat laas jaar klaargemaak het. So ek is nou in beheer van Hands and Hearts.
En hoe gaan het met ons ou vriend Pieter Links?
Hy het my nou die dag gebel en my gesê as ek enige hulp nodig het, is altyd beskikbaar om my te help. So ja, ek sal dit in gedagte hou as ek hulp nodig het.
Well, he's watching the show right now. So Peter, if you're watching right now, we're just wondering, make sure that you are watching him. But no, we'll definitely be. But yeah, so how are things going in Hands and Hearts? You guys had a pretty good season last year. Not quite pushing it into Super League A, but all in all, again, Hands and Hearts brings the heat.
Ja, JP, die afgelope 3 jaar was ons baie consistent. Ons het 2022 het ons semifinal gehaal. 2023 het ons quarterfinals gehaal. En laas jaar weer quarterfinals. So ons is baie consistent in Super League B. Ek dink ons span wat gevestig is in Super League B op die oomblik.
Yeah, and Nafis, on your side, you're coaching FalseBay Women's side. Yeah. We had Dylan Freilink in studio with us last week, and he said that FalseBay is now at risk of the women's side becoming more popular than the men's side.
Apparently so. Dylan, I'm just joking. Now it's a massive honor, but also a really good challenge for me personally in terms of the next phase of my career.
Yeah.
I was approached by a good friend of mine, Zoe Nodia, who's gone on to do amazing things on the international stage where refereeing is concerned. And we just had a brief chat, and when I walked away, I didn't feel complete. And then I picked up the phone and I said, Zoe, I'm in.
Yeah.
I've got a massive love for the women's side of the game, especially coming from a touch rugby background where the last thing I did was coach the under-20 South African ladies at the World Cup. And since that day, like, there was this connection to wanting to see this side of the game develop. And when this opportunity came up, I was like, okay, I'm going to grab it with both hands. And so far, it's looking really, really good. The energy that we have at the club currently it's pretty good, and I understand where Dylan's coming in.
Well, that was us really. You know, there's probably me being silly because I think in the world of social media, it depends on who's doing what. Yeah. But let's take a look at some highlights that we've got. We played this in last week, folks, but I thought we would show this again just to make sure that we have a little bit of context. So as we talk through the women's rugby, we're also waiting for Brackenfell, Carlo Nokia to send us some highlights of their training, and hopefully we will still get it in during the course of the show. But this is, of course, FalseBay women's side in training at the Bay.
Cuba audience. I'm excited to be back at the Bay. Pre-season's been a bit tough, a lot of fitness, but very excited to get back into it. Very excited. Chris was my touch coach before, so I'm excited to work with him in a different field of rugby, but I think we're going to make magic. I think that it's just a bit of communication and clashing heads, but I think that with a lot of team building and trying to talk around communication, things like that, I think we will do well this season. Do it.
Just do it.
Just do it. It's the best thing that you could do. It's the best thing that happened to me. And rugby is a way to help let out your anger, your stress, everything like that. It's a way to let loose. So do it. Don't tell it.
Thank
Right, there we go, folks. Of course, FalseBay women's side in action, in training. When did you guys start training?
We started on the 6th of Jan.
On the 6th of Jan?
Yeah, that was the first session that we had. And
Yeah.
we are currently, I think, in our 3rd week. So it's been looking really good. The growth is important for me. I measure things from session to session in terms of where you're heading as a player, but also more so how the group is growing, and like the amount of players that have currently reached out to me is the numbers are quite alarming. So we are trying to build something extremely special. Personally, I would love to see them get back to where they once were, especially in the infant stages where they just grew so quickly, but they were also competitive. So that's definitely the direction that we intend on heading.
Ernest, what are your thoughts? Taking a look there at the women's rugby thing, where we want to bring your skilled eye into the picture here. Ernest, your thoughts? Looking at FalseBay, the ladies there, do you think they're ready for the season?
Ja, nee, hulle lyk reg. Hulle lyk reg. So ek dink nodige afwagting en die nodige conditioning kan hulle goed in die jaar.
Yeah. Did you also, you mentioned, Nafis, from your perspective, because I think one of the things that everybody was looking at this year, and I'm going to ask Ernie the same question, was they were all looking to see how many players arrived on day one.
Yeah. So we've got quite a big group. I mean, the current squad size is sitting at about 46.
Yeah.
On the first day, I think we had about 16 of them, and it's been growing every session since. So obviously that was a big fear. The discussion that we had beforehand was, what type of response are we going to get? Are they going to pitch up? And I was like, let me do what I do, and let's see what happens afterwards. And like I said, I'm looking forward to tonight's session because I know it's going to be full house.
Yeah.
So yeah, I mean, the numbers have been really good from our side, especially where women's rugby is concerned, with newer players, first-time players coming in as well, and also the experienced ones that have been around the block, some from upcountry and all around, to be honest. So.
Well, we're definitely going to talk to you a little bit more about women's rugby after the break. Ernest, van julle kant af, also, you had your first session. How was the turnout?
Ja, ons het die 6de Januarie begin en die opkomst was nogal baie goed. Het was 'n klomp jong manne wat gekom het. Soos gisteraand was daar redelik senior manne wat opgedaag het. Dit was altyd maar so.
Hulle wil nie los nie.
Ja.
Those guys, they don't want to let go.
Yes. Hulle kom altyd laat aan by die oefeninge en sluit altyd laat aan. Maar ons nommers is besig om te increase, so is goed.
Is Anthony Taylor still playing?
Nee, Anthony is op die oomblik speel hy nie.
En Alistair?
Alistair is na Van der Stel toe.
Alistair's gone to Van der Stel?
Van der Stel toe.
Okay, and Kokkie?
Kokkie, hy oorweeg nog waartoe hy gaan. Yes. Daar sprake dat hy Guru toe gaan, maar ek weet nie.
We'll leave that up to you guys to discuss that behind the scenes. But yeah, so many favorite friends of Cape Rugby TV. So folks, we're going to take a break. When we come back, we're going to carry on speaking to Nafis and Ernest. We're currently focusing on women's rugby, FalseBay women's rugby, hands and hearts. We've got a couple of highlights that came in from you, from Peniel Villages, Rocklands, Hands and Hearts, Masipumalele, All Saints also came in. And don't forget, of course, still coming up, your opportunity to win yourself a case of Score energy drinks. Back in a break, don't go away.